Welcome to Frank Bruno Law. I am Frank Bruno. Today's topic, I'm going to tell you a little bit about estate litigation. So, why would you be faced with an estate litigation? You have a family that's fighting about something, that's why. So, I fielded a call today where there were two relatives that passed away. Neither relative had been married. They did not have children, neither relative, and they didn't have a will. And these were siblings that resided in a home together, and then they were in their 90s, right? So like say a 94-year-old and a 92-year-old, and they were siblings. They lived together, and as I stated, no children, no husbands or wives, and no will. They were one of, each one was one of six. They were siblings, four other siblings to contend with. Three of the four had passed away. Now there were additional heirs, which would have been the nieces and nephews of these two individuals. And by this point, with the nieces and nephews and the sibling, we have to do an estate administration. And there's a tug and a pull and a push because some members of the inheriting class, right, the heirs, would like to rent out the property, and some other members of the inheriting class, the heirs, would like to sell the property. That's when you have potentially estate litigation. We try by discussion, negotiation, settlement. We try to resolve the matter without having to resort to court. That's what we have. What we have to do is take all of those steps, right? We want to fully vet any chance at settlement, always. Whether it's an estate litigation, a guardianship, a divorce, foreclosure, any kind of case, you want to see and potentially exhaust all options for settlement. Sometimes there's mediation, sometimes there's meeting with a pastor or a church member, sometimes there's another family member that's the cooler head that could mediate the situation, listen to both sides, come up with some resolution. So once we exhaust all of those potential situations, then we have to advocate for our position. Now, without knowing more about the factual situation, it's probably easier to sell than it is to get consensus to rent out and then divide money up between 9 or 12 relatives, right? So each month, one person would have to collect rent, pay the bills, what's outstanding. At the very least, there's taxes, insurance, and water. So who wants to take on that responsibility to collect rent, pay those bills, and then distribute money to the relatives? You probably wouldn't do it on a monthly basis, but quarterly or every 6 months or at least annually, you'd have to divide the money. So out of the two respective positions, the side that wants to sell or the side that wants to retain the property and collect rent, I believe the side that wants to sell has a stronger position. It just seems easier. Now, if this was a 40-family home, if this was some great investment property, then maybe my position would be different, or the position of the renters would be different. You know, they want to be an owner of property and collect. So in any event, that's a small sampling of what we might do in litigation. We have to stay cool, calm, and collected, and we take each step as the next step comes. Be safe and well. FrankBrunoLaw.com. Thank you.